Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I am so happy you clicked on my video. Welcome. And if you're coming back, I am so grateful that you're back again. How have you been? If you know me, you know I love to yap. And I wanted to talk about the books that I've been reading, but also about the movies that I've been watching or TV shows, just anything that I've been doing. And I went out to dinner with a friend last week and we always chat a lot together and he is really into movies, and we were just chatting about some stuff, and at some point we were like, why don't we just create a podcast together, because we are so funny together, people need to hear this. And that honestly got me thinking, what if I just start like a podcasty type of segment on my channel and just yap about all the things that I've been doing and liking in that particular month. So welcome to Mika's monthly favorites. This might be a work in progress title, who knows. I don't like to do wrap-up videos for my books because I just don't read that much, I feel like. I read a lot, but sometimes I'm just in a slump. Like for the past 2 months, I've read 3 books. And I didn't want to end January with a wrap-up video, be like, hey guys, here's the one book that I read. So I think doing like a little bit of a monthly wrap-up video is perfect for me, which means that I can talk about the books that I've been reading, but I don't necessarily feel the pressure of reading like 5 to 10 books every month because I just don't have the time for that. But that way I can also talk to you guys about other things that I've been liking and doing, and we can connect and bond over that, which I think is very fun. So let's start with books. So since I'm going to do this from February on, I'm going to talk about the books that I've been reading in January as well. So I started the year with Assassin's Blade, and that one I thought was fine. I started the Throne of Glass series last year together with my friends, and I've been slowly going through the books, and they said that I needed to read Assassin's Blade as a third in the series, so being a good little reader, that's what I did. And I do think it's good that I read it as a third in the series, because I think if I read this as first, I probably wouldn't have liked it. I just don't care that much about Selena and like what is happening, at least what was happening in the books of the Assassin's Blade book. I just didn't really care about all the situations that much. I care more about the other characters and perspectives from the main story. So yes, I do think this was a good addition to the overall series, and yes, I do like that I've read it, but I am very grateful that I read it as a third book, which is what I also would recommend to others, to read it as third, maybe potentially fourth, because in my opinion it would have put me off if I read it as a first in the series. It was just a little bit boring. It wasn't fun enough, in my opinion. Then I read Wisteria, which is number 3 in the Belladonna series, and I don't know if I ever talked about this on my channel or if this was previous before I started my channel, but Belladonna, I rated book number 1 like 6 stars, my favorite series of, I think I read that book in 2022 or 2023. And then now book 3, Wisteria, the way Foxglove ended got me so excited for Wisteria, and then when I actually read Wisteria, I was fine. I'm honestly not sure if everything that I've read so far is just fine because I'm in a slump. I started a new job / internship. I'm working full-time as my internship, so I don't know if I'm just tired and I'm just not in the mood to read, or if everything that I've been reading is actually just fine. So Wisteria is number 3 in the book series, and it's about Blythe and Eris, and this is about their love story, and it's very enemies to lovers, and I do really like that, and I did really like that aspect of it, and I love Blythe with all my heart. I just don't care about Eris. I just don't find him as interesting as Silas / Death, and I don't know, this book was still a solid 4 stars. I did really like it, but I don't know, the way Eris was just yapping about his previous lover all the time, I mean, it makes sense once you read the book, but just, I don't know, it just felt a little bit like Blythe was second choice, and it's just like, okay, fine, I'll take her then. Yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't really vibing with Eris all that much, but I did really like the book, and I do still think Belladonna is one of my favorite series ever. The third book is just a little bit of a miss for me for now. Still 4 stars, but just like the one male main character was just a bit meh. And then the book that I'm currently reading right now is Heir of Fire, which is the actual third book in the Throne of Glass series, but I'm reading it as fourth because, like I mentioned before, I read Assassin's Blade in between. So far, I'm really liking it. I'm 40%, 35 or 40% of the way through right now, and I do really enjoy it. I'm just a little bit lost. There are so many different POVs and there's so many things going on that I'm honestly not entirely sure what we're doing right now. So there's Selena's point of view, there's Cowl's point of view, and there's also Manon. Like, who the heck is Manon? I mean, I'm not gonna talk too much because there's, like, at this point, if I talk about this series, there's going to be spoilers. So I don't want to say too much about what's going on, but I'm just a little bit confused what the main point is right now. I feel like we're just training to get answers, but I don't know, it just feels a bit boring and I'm a little bit lost. But I'm sure in the near future I'll be back and it'll be good and I'll like it, because so far the series has been pretty solid. So that's all the books that I've been reading. I do have a few books on my TBR for the upcoming month. Hold on, let me grab my book. I've been keeping a list of the books that I still want to read for the winter. I have, other than Heir, I have 3 more books on there, including The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, The Spectacular, and All of Us Villains. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that because technically, I mean, winter ends in like 3 weeks, but I'm just going to keep this TBR until like the end of March, and then I'll start a new TBR because I am very much a mood reader, but I do also like to stick to the lists and things that I actually want to read because I want to get through my TBR and my physical TBR, and I just want to not keep adding books and books and books to the list and just make it never ending. Like, I actually want to at some point have like a good idea of what I've read. All right, enough about that. Something else that has been keeping me very, very busy for the past few weeks, starting in January, is Miss Infinity Nikki. I don't even know where this came from, man. I saw pictures and like ads on Instagram and TikTok, and I knew about Infinity Nikki from like the past year when they ran betas and whatnot. I didn't have access to the betas or anything, but I saw things coming on social media and it looked really fun. But I was like, you know what? I already play Genshin, I already play Zelda, I already have Switch, and I have iPad, and I have so many other bips and bobs going on. I don't need another game. Girl, I needed another game. I downloaded Infinity Nikki in January after my exams. The good girl that I am, I actually downloaded it after the exams. I downloaded it before the exams, but I didn't open the game until after the exams. I finished my exams, which I passed, by the way. Woohoo! I finished my semester with a 7 out of 10, so very happy about that. So I opened the game after my exams, and there she was, Miss Infinity Nikki, and oh my god, this game took over my life. I have no idea why this game is so fun to me. It's so good. And literally nothing is happening. It's just, I mean, honestly, nothing. The storyline is kind of insane. I don't know who plays this game as well that is currently watching it. If you do, let me know. We can swap out friend codes and you can add me on Infinity Nikki. I love to have more friends on there. That one plot twist after you defeat the bird, or the bird on top of the PC's mountain thingy area, that plot twist, I did not see that coming. I was truly gasping. I was like, oh, no way. And then for some reason my game didn't render well and the mountain behind us was just a block. It was very funny. It wasn't funny, but it was funny. So yes, the game that I've been playing, that's literally the only game that I've been playing for like the past 4, 5, 6 weeks. I haven't been doing anything else. I haven't touched my Switch at all. Even my computer, that she's a little bit old, she's a little bit rusty, she's pulling through, she's still going, but girl, she needs a breather sometimes. She's running the game pretty fabulously, if I do say so myself. So I definitely say try it out if you like dress-up games, if you want something casual. It is honestly really, really fun, really chill, really casual. There's not that much combat. I do have to say there was this random combat moment. I wasn't paying attention. I was just letting the game auto roll and I was on my phone for a bit, and then there were like 10 enemies around me and they kept attacking me and I died. But other than that, this game is very cozy, it's very fun, it's very cute, so definitely give it a try. Next up, Movies, TV shows. I've been trying to watch more movies. I haven't really watched that many movies in 2024, and I started this year. I wrote them down in my Hobonichi. So far, I watched 4 movies, and I wrote a review for 3 of them. Funnily enough, I watched most of them in the first week-ish of January, and then I watched 1 movie at the end of January, and then I didn't watch any movies anymore. Because that's when another obsession came in, which I'll talk about in a second. Technically, we watched this on December 31st, but we watched Batman Begins, me, my boyfriend, and my sister. They both watched this movie already, and they really like it. I personally also like Batman, but I've never really gotten that deep into the lore and the movies and everything, and they were like, oh, you need to watch this one. So we watched Batman Begins, and then a few days later, we watched The Dark Knight. That one was insane. That one was so crazy. And then a few days later, I felt in the need of something more happy, so I watched Mufasa, and I really like that one. The songs are so cute. The brother song has been in my head for like the biggest part of January, as has it been with everybody else, it seems like, considering what I saw on my TikTok and everywhere else. And then a few months ago, my boyfriend and I decided to watch the Fast and Furious series, another movie series he has already watched over time when he was younger, and he hasn't really watched it in the past years. And there are movies that I'm down with, but I just never really thought to watch it by myself. So we watched Fast 5, which is the one where they are in Brazil. This is Brazil. Anyway, the movie was fine. We fell asleep, and with we, I mean me, halfway through the movie, so we watched it the next morning. Never in my life would I think that I would be watching Vin Diesel and The Rock shoot at each other and fight each other while I'm eating my breakfast. Don't ask me why you watch this while eating breakfast. Then for the biggest part of February, I've been watching Dexter. I watched Dexter. I'm a little bit late to the game, honestly, because I've been watching this show 10 years ago, and then they took it off Netflix, and I just didn't really feel that compelled to look it up online or through another source and watch it there. And then a few years ago, they put it back on our Netflix, so then I watched it again, and then I watched season 4, and then I was traumatized, and I put the show down for a bit. And then 2 years ago or so, I started it again, and then season 4 rolled around, and I put the show down again for a while. This just hits differently. I mean, the series is old, so I guess I can talk about it, but Rita's death just hits differently. I just couldn't watch. And then last month, I just randomly got a recommendation on Netflix saying, hey, do you maybe want to watch Dexter again? Because you haven't watched it in a while. And I was like, you know what? Sure. So I read a whole summary of seasons 1 through 4 because I was like, I am not putting myself through that again. And I just started from season 5. And then I just blasted through it in 1 month. I don't even know how that happened. I watched 4 seasons in 1 month, and then I was at the end of season 8, and there was the season finale, the series finale, the end, and I hated it. There were so many decisions that I was just like, why did you do that? I don't know. I didn't like it. And then I was just browsing Reddit for a bit to see what other people were saying about this, because I was like, I can't be the only one that hated this, right? And I was correct. There were so many people that hated it as well. And then I saw that people were saying you should watch Dexter New Blood if you don't like this ending. So I was like, what the frick is that? So I looked it up, and it is a 1-season show set 10 years after the ending of original Dexter, where Dexter is now 10 years into hiding, living under a different name, and everything is 10 years later. So Harrison is like, I'd say 15, 16 at this point. He's living in like a random Alaska type area. It's super cold, it's snowy, it's whatever. And I'm a few episodes in right now, and so far I actually quite like it. It is very different from the original Dexter, which is okay. So yeah, so far I'm really liking this show, and I want to continue it and see how it ends, and hopefully it brings me a bit more at peace with the way the original Dexter show ended. And then maybe some miscellaneous items that I don't really put in a particular category that I've been liking a lot lately. I have a Hobonichi Weeks, the 2025 mega version this year. I've been using the regular version for the past few years, but I did notice every single year that I would add more note paper to it, or that I would journal in a separate notebook because I just knew I wasn't going to have enough space. So this year I went with the mega version, so I would have like 200 pages of journal space, and so far I've been loving this size. If I could get this exact format in an A6 version, that would be my perfect size, but unfortunately it's not out there, unless you know of something and you can tip me about where to get that. But the Hobonichi format is my absolute favorite, and I have been seeing a lot about Kinbor, which is super interesting to me because Hobonichi last year, they already changed the paper to a lot of planners. Mine was still the old Tomoe River paper, but this year I also got the new paper, and I have to say I like it a lot less. This paper feels a lot more cheap compared to what it used to be, and I'm wondering if it's still worth it to get this Hobonichi again next year. So I've been looking into Kinbor, and it basically is an exact replica of the Hobonichi ones. They come in A6 size, A5 size, week size, and they look really good. So I am thinking about getting a Kinbor potentially maybe next year. They're like, I think between 10 and 20 euros, which is very good considering the Hobonichi is like 30 to 40 euros where you get it from. So that would be a lot better considering the paper quality and just overall quality, I should say, of the Hobonichi right now is just not really what it used to be. But let me know if you have a Kinbor, if you have any experience with Kinbor, and if you want to chat about it. I'd love to hear about your experiences and your thoughts and how you use it. Other than that, I think that's everything that I've been up to this past month. Been a little bit of a slow month because the biggest part of January I had exams, so I was just staying at home working on my exams, and then I did vlog that the one time that I finally saw the sun in like a week, and I went out and did some shopping, and then I went to see my boyfriend for a week, which was really, really fun. And then straight after that, I started my new internship / job. So that's all I've been doing for the past month. She's a corporate baddie now. She's in her corporate era. But so far, I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I think it is really good for me to experience this because I wanted to know if working in book publishing was something that I would like to do for the rest of my career, or at least a big chunk of my career. And I think so far the answer is yes. I've only been here a month, but I feel like I have already been doing so much and I've already been up to so many different things, and I've been assigned so many different tasks, and I'm really becoming a part of the team, which is really nice. I feel very welcome. I feel very happy there. I feel very excited to go to work every single day. Of course, I'm like, morning, sleep. But once I'm there, it's very fun. And I'm finally getting in a little bit of a routine, a little bit of like I have more energy now. I feel better about the way things are going. Like the first 2 weeks were rough. So yeah, I think that's everything that I have to say for this month. Let me know what your favorites or the things that you have been doing this month are. They can be anything. They can be movies, books, snacks, fashion items, travels. Like, just let me know what you've been up to this month. I'd love to chat about it. So that was it for this month's wrap up of February 2025. I think it was really fun to just sit here and yap. You can just turn this on in the background. You don't even really have to watch it. You can just listen to it if you want. I really like those videos every now and then where I can just do some work while I just listen to other people yap. So yeah, let me know if you like this format and if you have any specific topics that you want me to include next time that you're interested on hearing my thoughts about. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, please comment this emoji so I know you're a real one that stayed until the end. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe to the channel if you want. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye, guys.